What's up, Make a Break fam? I wanted to make this video for the top 5 units that you can use to solo carry your games with in ranked matchmaking, and let's get right to it. First unit on the list is Aquila. Alright, let's start with why Aquila is one of the main characters you could use to carry in your games. Let's spawn Narukami, the rival sniper, right? So, Narukami, the rival sniper, dies in 1, 2, 3, 4 shots, right? So there's a reason, like, you're even the rival sniper to you, all you do is catch them one time when they're invis, and you'll be able to destroy that enemy character, that Narukami, and then you can spawn, let's say you spawn, like, let's see an annoying character that usually tracks you down. Let's say Stellaris. Let's do this so it's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every character, and you could just shoot before the target even triggers. You can go like 1, 2. So like the extra like quarter second if I waited would distract the targeting. But I could shoot between that, and I don't have to actually wait. There's no long charge time. Narukami, the only reason I think Narukami's not as good, especially in solo queue, is he needs like an actual good team. He needs melees to get in their face and disrupt them a lot, that force them to always turn. While Aquila can just be flying in the air, especially if you're not moving or like you're not using your boost, it lasts even longer. So you could go all the way to the skybox if you really wanted to, if you could. But most of the time, if you're playing Aquila, you're having to use your movement. You have to go in between shots. You're running away from somebody. You're popping your stun. He has an actual stun ability. It can track up to 3 times, so it's annoying. That person has to waste a lot of stamina to get around it and get away from it. If you're on the ground, you use less stamina, so you can kind of utilize that. You have this, or it makes your whole screen pretty much a targeting system, and it attracts up to 6 people, so you can do a bunch of AoE damage. And then your hip fire does a lot of damage as well, and you're doing energy damage, so you're going through their health and shield at the same time with both your default left click and your aim down sight. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. Unit 2 on this list is Welkin. So the next one on the list that we have is Welkin. So the reason why I put Welkin is ever since even the OG times when they had him out and he was super overtuned, his spin to win did too much damage, his dome had too much health, his flashbang was annoying, and then his little shurikens he used to throw that are now tied to his dome. So now they fuse a lot of his abilities that he had over time, put them into different ones. So now his dome will spawn these little shurikens on top of trapping people inside, and they'll hit stun you over and over and over. And then you also have your spin to win, which parries other melee attacks. And then he also has high melee resistance, so you can destroy every melee that's trying to kill your team. You usually want to play him on top of like your Triceratops Stego, and you drop the dome on him. Or you play like just to like, oh, there's someone up here. You just like auto attack into him, and then pop the dome up here. Then you can still like play from range, because he has a range ability as well, a range option as well with the rocket. Does a little bit of AoE damage. His flashbang, if you are facing the target, remember, you have to be facing the target, that target has to be facing you, just like any other flashbang. Boom, you'll stagger them and like mess up their screen and make it so they can't target somebody, like their targeting doesn't work with on top of the screen being a little bit messed up. But they have to be targeting. If they're like, if you do it from the back, resist. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't mean stagger. But if you're from the front, it will stagger. I'll show you one more time. And then if you use your 3, they made it so you're immune to energy damage. You have a gigantic frontal shield, and within the mist, you and your teammates cannot be targeted. They have to actually manually shoot you. They made the mist not as annoying to your screen, but it's the exact same effect. Everything is the exact same. It's just so how, like, if you looked at old footage of him, the mist was huge and it was like all over the place. So from the front of the shield, so it's like not really, there's like a little middle part of the shield where energy damage could still shoot it, so you could break it, and I think it would end the mist part too, if everyone shoots it and breaks it. But you could everyone who doesn't do energy damage can like jump over and shoot the back, or you're melee, you can still melee him. But obviously when he pops that skill, he's gonna be doing this. He's gonna be spin to winning, so he's gonna be parrying your attacks and being immune to energy damage, and from the front reduce all damage. You know, obviously because of the shield. So this character kind of has a bunch of like all-in-one kit, and that's why he's easy to carry with. And objective modes, because you could pop the dome on the objective and just grab it with your 3 and your 1 combined. So even if, so like if there's an Aquila trying to stop you and a Narukami, they don't do any damage to you. And then they, as Sky Raider, you're immune to, except for when he pops like the AoEs. They'll just explode and keep doing AoE damage. But like Serenith tries to do left click on you and won't do any damage. So they have to actually get like a Tricera in there, get another melee in there, something to stop you. So one, they have to break through the dome. Then they actually have to break through the actual mist. And if you're facing front as well, you would block the damage. But I don't think that's... I think even if you block the damage with your shield, it still counts as stopping you. So just note that. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. I'm combining 3 here, but 3 is just the healers. So Lumine and Panaka, and I'll explain more. So next up, we have the healers of the game. So... let me... I can set it to HP, so low Tricera. So Lumine can do a decent bit of single target healing, but the benefit of Lumine is more that she could do AoE healing. You could put 1 and 2, and then you could pop your 1, and 1 in healing form will do a giant AoE mist heal around you. So on top of my left clicks healing them, and if 1 goes away, you can put 2 on the target. So I'll just keep doing that. And it will keep 2 drones max per person. And then if you want to actually like do damage to people, oh my god. If you want to do damage to people, let's do like a falcon. You just go to damage form by hitting 3, and now you can put 1, 2, pop this form, and then also with this form you could infinite energy, literally infinite. There is no energy requirement until that meter runs out. So no one can touch you. You can grab the objective, and it's at least it's a 30-second cooldown timer. I still think it lasts too long. It lasts an astronomical amount of time. And then you don't have like that much energy consumption really, and you have a lot of energy regen on this character. And yeah, you literally have like point and click skills. Like there's no aiming these. You just point, click, boom. And look at it, look, boom, 250, 215, 215. And it's doing direct health damage, by the way. Dead. So it's doing direct health damage. Then you have your 1 skill. Oh, I guess if you've never seen its execution, I'll do that. Because a lot of people, you never really get to execute people with this character. But yeah. You can stick on to people longer. You can play objectives easier. You need a healer in this game. It's a hero shooter, so you need a healer in this game. People don't want to believe it and don't want to do it, but yeah, you need a healer in this game. So you would really be able to tell when one team has a Lumine that has like 200k damage with like 700 to 800k healing, and you have no healer. You're just losing every objective fight, right? And then it's a Eye of Mizra or let's say the lunar map. They're both the same type of objective map. You go up to the thing, grab it, and now like watch across the whole map. Then you sit in the satellite, and now you just do this in circles. And then let's move on to Panaka, the other healer, and why I say pretty much they're kind of similar, like they're pretty much interchangeable. It really just depends on the mode or if like what type of comp you're going. So you have a really deathball-y comp. You could do Panaka as well, just know it's going to be harder to heal everybody. He's more a single target healing. His left click, oh my god, I wish I swept that. Okay, let's go to the 5% health Tricera. So you have a dash in, and then, so it does the same thing as before where it dashes in. But now it's a range heal. So now if they go a certain distance, you keep healing, keep healing, keep healing, and then it will break. After a certain distance or breaking line of sight. And then, obviously you get close. Then you pop your 1, which is a drone, which is the same as her drones. They'll go to a target and keep healing them until they either full health or they just run out of timer. And then you can put this on them, so even more healing. So the spawn the try. I just want to show you how much healing he does. So drone, shield, left click. And it does all of its percentage-based health healing. All healing. So you will heal like one person to full instantly. So if you're playing with like, let's say Tricera Stego. So Tricera has a heal, right? Anybody around him. So then he could also heal Panaka if Panaka's kind of getting destroyed around him. And then you could do this around as well, but you just don't have the energy regen that the other girl does. and then Stego can heal shielding, and then you heal health, so you can kind of all heal each other. So that's like semi-death ball, or like, I mean, Lumine's like you're playing this like rush down death ball comp if you really want to, like with like the melees. So honestly, he's better with like slower tanks because he also gives CC immunity, so you can pop CC immunity shield on yourself while healing them with the drones. So then the melee dives in on you. You have the Tricera to play around to parry him. You're immune to CC, and then the Stego can also keep like shield spamming him away and melting him with tons of damage. And he can't be like taken out of his form unless it's a Solaris. Solaris cannot CC stun you. For some reason, like you're stagger immune in the shield, yet it's also stagger immune for Tricera, but Tricera can be tackled out of the out of his stagger immunity. So it's kind of weird. I don't really understand that. Where yeah. But that's like the only confusing thing you just gotta remember on this character. And also, while you're doing this, you could keep dashing into him. So if they like keep dashing away from you, you can keep dashing and just try to keep your aim on the target as much as possible. You also have this wall, so on enemies, on allies it stuns them, or like semi-stuns them. But on enemies, I'll come down and let me show you on enemy. Let's say like you're fighting. Let's say you're fighting like enemy Stego. So that wall will come down. Oh. How do I get rid of my one wall? There you go. Actually, let's do this. It'll be easier. There you go. So you drop this wall, even if they're planted in the ground, because obviously because they're planted in the ground, it'll drop down. And when it drops through them, and they're planted into the ground, it will like I don't know why it's not destroying here, but in an actual match, it'll destroy itself. Even if you dropped it into the ground. Actually, no, I think it only destroys itself then on a planted target. So if the Tricera and Stego are planted, it will destroy itself because the character that you did it on can't move. So that's probably why. So the person can't move, and then you just, if they don't want to move, look how much damage it does. It does straight health damage as well. So I did 3 walls on him for over half his health. So let's see, switch Break Striker, summon, and let's summon a new. Let's do Tricera. All right, so wall, and you can keep doing this. Let's do wall again. Let's do like 3 wall. Oh, this is where it gets awkward. So this is what I used to do, where they nerfed it, where they made it so it didn't destroy on impact. But in a real match, and maybe only on people who are planted, it would destroy itself, and then you could just keep dropping them over and over and over on the same target. And then also, if a melee is pushing you, you just do this, and then drop a wall right here. So if the melee hits you, boom, and then you bait him in, let him hit your shield a little bit, and then you just drop the wall, and then it'll fall on top of them, and then hit stun them, and then you can kind of run away. And then obviously the melee is weak, and usually the melee might not try to do it after two walls hit them. They'll just run away. And you have a shoddy, so make sure you're also really close to the target. And it does a million damage, so on top of the wall hitting them. You could destroy him with that, and then you could heal yourself with the drones. It always just goes to who's the nearest target. So if you're the nearest target, they'll go for you, and they only go for somebody who's low HP. And I think they just sit there too, on location. So if somebody runs by that and then gets grabbed by it, then the drone will help them out. But yeah, I want to move on to the next person now. Mech 4 on this list is going to be Stego, the DPS tank. So Stego is ultra heavy attacker. Usually when you see ultra heavy, it just means like they're in a sense like they're like the highest defenses, but then they will be attacker or defender. Defender is a pure tank type character, while attacker is still like this guy has a shield, right? Or a mist. Like the mist heals shields, makes so you can't be targeted. And then you also have this. Did they just hotfix that? That feels like it does not last as long. What the heck? That lasted no time at all. But then you have your actual deploy form, and your deploy form also now pushes targets away, and like does like a slight like mini stagger effect to him. So you could kind of like do like how Tricera does, where he keeps sit stunning you. And remember, you can only do your third ability when you're actually planted for a certain amount of time. So right here, and then you do this. So. And this character, like, look how I'm holding the spacebar. I'm not as mobile as a lot of characters. They actually did give me better energy regen on this character, though. And then also you could use your plant form to, like, fast fall. Oh, that's not it. But you use it to flash ball. Let me get my energy back. He has him and Tricer have horrible energy regen after running out of stamina, so that's like the worst thing on this character. You never want to like run out of stamina. Here, and you fastball. And then you can come out of form. Fastball. And that's, I mean, this character doesn't really have like that crazy amount of like complexity, really. And that's kind of why it makes him like one of the best. Is he does like pretty much like the top 3 most damage in the game. He's one of the tankiest in the entire game. He has like that AoE smoke that also gives like so his smoke screens makes everybody invisible inside of it. Makes it so they can't be targeted even if they become visible, unless it's like a radar ability. But like if you get shot in it, sometimes you can like see them, but you can't target them. Like you can see their outline. And then also and enemies too. Enemies become invisible, so it's kind of annoying. You can't even heal your own teammates in it. And then once he's planted, you just do like 1,000,000 damage. So you're just doing like tons and tons of damage. And then your miss makes it so you can actually capture objectives. So now imagine like a Welkin domes on it, pops his 3 so energy damage doesn't hit you. Then you do this and then you do this in front of him. So then he literally is capping it. They have to hit you and like you have to break your shield and you, or they have to jump over it while breaking the dome and then shoot the Welkin on it. So, but yeah, that's all I really wanted to say on this character, and I'll move on to the next one. The 5th on this list will be another combined slot of Tricer Hurricane. They're pretty much around the same thing. They're both the main tanks of the game, and they're interchangeable, really just depending on the mode. But you could really just use one or the other for all of the game if you really wanted to. But that's why I kind of combined them on this, just like I combined the 2 healers. So the 5th-ish characters, I would say 5th-ish because they're also like a duo character, since I did like the healers as a duo, is the ultra heavy defenders. They're mostly interchangeable now, especially after they nerfed Tricera, based on the game mode that you're doing. Hurricane is better on like objective game modes, like where kind of like how Welkin Dome is, or you could drop the thing on top of it. When you pop your form as Tricera, you also taunt. So anybody with targeting, like I'll be looking, let's imagine I'm looking this way, I'm shooting this. As long as that Tricera is on my screen, if he taunts, I'll literally be shooting this way. So imagine I'm looking here and that's where my bullet should be going. I'm actually doing this. See how that's happening? That's what would happen. You would end up shooting the insanely tanky Tricera instead of shooting the guy that's actually getting point, and you'll lose a point. So now imagine like Tricera goes right next to the Welkin Dome, next to it but away from where the Welkin is, on the outside of it, and then pops this. Then you end up shooting the Tricera for like a decent bit of your clip, and not the Welkin that's like shooting the dome. So like a sniper has to do the toggle feature where he could toggle off the auto lock, and it will end up like, and then he can shoot the dome, but then he has to waste like a lot of extra shots because everyone else is not able to shoot it, or like the melees that run past the Tricera, so he's not on the screen. They keep meleeing the dome, and then you know what I mean. Like it forces that, or the Hurricane can pop a dome, so I'll show that as well, and then I'll just talk about each kit and why I think they're still like insanely good as well for like solo carrying a match. So you would go up to the thing, be like, oh, this guy's getting the objective, doom, and then your right click is a melee parry shield that blocks damage from the front, but also pops these little range drones, and it also does the same taunting effect that the Tricera like thing where he does a plant in place. It does the same effect. So now you put those outside the dome, and then, or you could put them in it, but you maybe like over here, away from the person trying to cap it, and then you stand in front of the cap. So maybe you do like one here, one there, and then you pop the dome on top, and then you pop this in front as well, and then you could be like shielding in front of them, standing in front of them, eating the shots, and then these little 2 drones, like the ones that you pop these little drones out, actually do a ton of damage. Like they're actually annoying. In damage when you're a squishy character. Like I was playing Welkin and the dude popped it above the thing I was hiding behind, and we were waiting on one of the newer maps for the midpoint, the new payload map, to spawn the thing we're supposed to capture to move the payload. And that thing there was literally nowhere I could go. I was getting shot from the far left, I was getting hit by that thing over the top, and I went straight mid. I would have ran into all their tanks and died. So that's like an easy way to counter melees. Like this character is supposed to like really deal with melees. You have a ranged AoE gun, and then it stays for a little bit of time, keeps doing damage over time. You have your 3 ability that does a bunch of damage, especially if you're close range. You see how much damage that did? So it's just like Infernos, where it does a bunch of damage, but like if you're like on top of the target. Otherwise, if you're up in the air, you'll hit everybody. But if you're melee range, it only has that one person to keep hitting. So you'll do more damage the closer you are to the target. But I think Inferno does even more damage if you're closer to the target. But yeah, usually you pop like 1, 2. While you're popping that, you can still pop 2s, and then you can pop your shield. So you can literally like pop shield, pop 2, pop this, and then start going. And then you can pop another one of these. So those things are shooting them the whole time. And I think you could shoot your left click also while I was doing it. But let's try that real quick before I move to Tricera's ability kit. But that's pretty much it. Like, it's still on the kind of like simpler end. A lot of the ultra heavy characters are all on the simpler end. Let me just test right here. This, and then you could, yeah, you could shoot while doing this. So, and then let's move on to Tricera real quick. Explain this kid a little bit to y'all. One of the first characters to the game. So you could like kind of fly around and be a little bit more mobile in the air than a Sego. And then you could plant yourself into the ground. And then just go crazy. You pop an AoE heal, your one ability. Anybody standing next to you heals, you heal. And then you just have Gatling guns. And they just have normal reloads. You don't have to wait for reload time or nothing. And then you have that extra huge shield. Look at the far left. So you have your normal shield and normal health bar. And then you have your extra big shield right there. And then you're also immune to stagger in this form. So any stagger effect, melees don't fuck with you, anything. And you also can parry melee attacks. Let me see if I could summon, let's see, this, and then this. It's got parry. And if I do this, parry again. And there's an extra time that you could parry after the fact. Parry again. Oh, you missed me. Parry again. Parry again. And then you start dumping them rockets into him. He might catch you when you're trying to do a parry again thing, so sometimes you can just stay in the form if you really want to. See how late that was? See how late that was? So you could be a little bit more safe with that too. Parried in the air. Melting. Stay in the form. I don't really care about him. Or I pop my heal. Heal myself. Pop 2 heals for it. Actually, no, I guess you can only do 1. You used to be able to pop all 3 heals. Parry again. Melt him. So like, I'm a melee's worst nightmare on this character. Even when I'm not in this form, I just take like the least amount of damage from all melees. The only characters I'm weak to is energy-based character. So let's take this off so he doesn't just kill me while I'm in the menu. Or there you go. So if you look at this character, right, every character tells you what the resistances are. So ballistic defense at A, blast defense on A, physical defense on A. So ballistic defense is like my machine guns or Falcon's guns. Blast defense is like Falcon's rockets, my rocket I have on this character, my 3rd ability. Stego's rockets, anything like that. Physical defense is melee-based damage. And energy defense is like Aquila, Narukami, Inferno, Hurricane. Like Hurricane, Inferno, and Aquila can just melt you, bro. So every time you see them, you want to like kind of try to hide or go somewhere. It's still a C. I think the lowest you can get is like an E. So it's still decent, but it's like obviously like on Inferno dumping his 2nd skill ability where it's like a giant uni-beam, holding charge and letting go with his 2 left click, right click, will just melt your entire health bar, and you don't want to get hit by all that. You don't want to sit there and tank that, but if need be, like you're doing the taunt or something, then yeah, you can actually still do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hold on. I just hear him hitting me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Until next time, the next one I'll probably make is my Inferno guide, because a lot of people have been asking for that, especially in my streams. If you guys want to catch me on live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Xraypc, and I am going to start my YouTube streams here. I don't know when, maybe within the next 2 days. But yeah, hope you guys like and subscribe to the video, and peace.